In this edition of Twin Reel Game Reviews, we'll be taking a look at Ironcast, developed by Dreadbit and published by Ripstone. Now, Ironcast is a turn-based strategy game that includes roguelike elements, permanent death, a match-3 tile system, and a steampunk twist, all set in an alternative Victorian history. Now, since the game has roguelike and perm death elements in it, you do have commendation marks you acquire through each of your runs. They can be used to unlock new commanders, which each have different abilities, new Ironcast, which also have their own unique abilities and stats. You have an abilities and augmentations pool, which go into the different type of upgrades you can pick from as you level up your character, which is only good for the one run. And then you have boosters, which gives you a permanent stat change for all the runs. The game does have a great tutorial system. I would highly recommend everyone go through it at least once. It does a really good job of teaching you how to play through the basics of the game. The game itself does have three main modes to it. You do have the hangar, you've got the map itself, the campaign, and you've got the actual combat phase. In the hangar, here you can upgrade your weapons and defense abilities, provided you acquire the appropriate blueprints by winning missions against the enemy. Those can be purchased through the workshop. If your health is low, you can rejuvenate it here by spending gold on it. And this is the only place you can fix your health, so make sure you do it between matches. You do have a variety of upgrade slots on your Ironcast, your character, and your different weapon systems and defensive systems that you want to make sure you can put stuff on. You acquire upgrades by leveling up and then picking from a list of randomly generated upgrade options that the game gives you. So from here, then you go into the campaign phase, which is 9 days for the first one. There are 2 campaigns in total, from what I understand. And so the first one is 9 days. You have usually 3 different types of missions, or 3 mission spots to pick from. And some of them are tougher than others. There's different types of missions, like battle missions, you've got salvaging, you've got item collection, you've got trade missions. So yeah, there's like over 80 missions to pick from to keep the game nice and fresh. In the actual fighting phase here, the way it works is you do have 4 different colored tiles plus special tiles. The orange is your defensive system, the purple is your main, guns. The blue is your coolant, which you want to make sure you have enough of at all times, because if you don't have coolant when you go to use your defense or attack systems, you will take damage. Then the green is your repair system, which is used to repair not your hull, because you can't do that here, but your subsystems. And so you and the enemy both have subsystems. If any of your subsystems get hit to 0 HP, they will no longer function until you fix them by using the green tiles here. And like I said, that goes with the same as your enemy. You want to strategize, figure out which subsystem you want to focus your attacks on and go ahead and take them out. That way, if the enemy has shields on, you probably want to focus on knocking out their shield generator. And then that way you can try to take them out really fast, depending on how you want to play. And again, it depends on the mission, because some missions you don't want to take out the enemy right away. You want to just keep them at bay while you're collecting the various tiles on here for the salvaging missions. You do have 2 picks per round that you can use to fill up your gauges on top, which will then allow you to activate your shields, repair yourself, different abilities. You can walk to boost your evasion rate. Higher your evasion, the less chance of being hit. And the more shields you have, the more damage that can be absorbed through your shields. That way you don't get that much hit on your hull. The game itself is a pretty interesting game. Like I said, a lot of strategy, a lot of depth to this game. So there's so many different options that you can choose from in regards to how you want to play, which missions you want to pick. The music for the game is pretty cool. I really like the backgrounds there, the whole steampunk theme. The game has multiple ways you can play through it. You've got for controllers, you've got your Pro controller, you got your Joy-Cons, you even have touchscreen. The game will allow you to play completely on touchscreen if you chose to do that when in handheld mode. So that's really cool. The game as well does have, because it has all the different unlock options in it, a lot of replayability that way. That way you can go through and try to unlock all the characters, the Ironcast, Fun fact, the Ironcast were all named after British castles. Some of the things I don't like about the game though, one is the loading times. It does take quite a few seconds to load between the mission and the hangar and the different spots. So it'd be nice if that can be, sped up and tweaked a bit. Also as well, the game, when you are playing through this part and your mech is moving as the evasion part, this animation doesn't look overly smooth at times, especially when you're watching the legs portion of it. It looks like the mech has a bit of unstable frame rate. I don't know if it's the game itself not being able to handle it or what's going on, because the game's supposed to run at a steady 30 frames per second. So whether it does or not, that I'm not sure, but you can definitely tell there's a bit of a animation hiccup there once in a while. The game also only has 2 campaigns to it, from what I understand. So it's not a very long game, but because you will be dying quite often, and you will be going through and upgrading your character over and over again, through the different exchange system there to unlock new abilities, you will be getting quite a few hours of enjoyment out of this though. So that is definitely a negative for the short gameplay content, but you do have that huge amount of replayability that offsets it. All in all, it's a very fun game. I've been enjoying it quite a bit. Still haven't beaten through the whole game yet. It's, like I said, very challenging. I would give it a 7.5 out of 10, and that's it for this review.